Gerhard Reuter, he's the German microbiologist who first isolated it in 1962 from the breast milk of a German breastfeeding mother. He said back then, it's easy to find. It's ubiquitous. It's in breast
Wow.
milk. It's in stool. It's easy to find. Well, his 40-year academic career, he made a number of comments that he's finding it increasingly difficult to find, such that by the 2000s, he could barely find it at all. And that's been corroborated several times by others. We have a clinical study I'm proposing where we do several hundred people and see how many will corroborate that and also correlate such to other biomarkers, health and youthfulness. But it's presumptively because Lactobacillus reuteri, as well as other Lactobacillus species, there's many of them, of course, are uniquely susceptible to common antibiotics. All it takes is a round of penicillin or ampicillin or amoxicillin that you may have taken years and years ago, and you've wiped out all the reuteri and thereby lost all its huge advantages.
Wow. I think you mentioned, I'm not sure if it was in your book, but it's like, was it 96% of the population doesn't really have very many left or?
Exactly right. The best estimates we have from recent evidence is about 4% of people, 1 in 25 people still
Wow.
have it. And so that means 24 out of 25 don't have it and have lost
Right.
this. As you recall, one of the great effects of this microbe, most microbes in the gastrointestinal microbiome colonize the colon, way, way
Right.
down, 24 feet down from the mouth. And that's where they're supposed to be. But Reuteri is unique in that it has the unique capacity to colonize the small intestine.
Mm.
And that's where it takes up residence and produce natural antibiotics. And these natural antibiotics are effective in killing fecal microbes, which, as you know, is a huge problem now. This notion of small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, what we say SIBO, SIBO, that is, fecal microbes like E. coli, etc., have colonized the small intestine where they don't belong, and they're very destructive when they do that. Well, is the loss of Reuteri and maybe some related species that have this unique ability to colonize the small intestine and produce antibiotics of their own. And these are different than the antibiotics you get from the hospital, from the doctor. These are very selective antibiotics, unlike the stuff you get in the hospital, where it tends to be broad spectrum, wipes out everything. It's an atomic bomb for your
Mhm.
GI tract. And so, is the loss of Reuteri part of the reason why this has become an epidemic? That is because explains why SIBO has become an epidemic. I believe it is.
Mhm. Yeah, because now we have no protection against these other microbes.